know if you stop me. I am the news and I'll make you keep talking. How many years you want to block me? I'm like the air, you know if you catch me. This fucking beats me, I play make I take fuck off some sellouts. Them be hungry things me, I say I day America, come fight me here now. So you know this is
Okay, my friends, a pleasant good Saturday afternoon from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. My friends, those of you who are locked on, this is your program, Hardfacts, that is aired on Sentinel Media Broadcasting. We are live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays with your program, The Business of the Country. What is happening in criminal elements in our country? And again, my friends, what is happening with the hard-working citizens of our country? How you are being left to be dried out in our country. So again, my friends, this program, Hardfacts, is your program. It is the voice for the voiceless. I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim. My co-host, Mr. Premchand Baldev. We are here, my friends, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, doing yeoman service for you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Those of you who are locked on, those of you who have been anticipating our program, we have our lines up and running. The number is 372-2129. I repeat, 372-2129. That's the number you can reach us in studio. Hardfacts program here today on Sentinel Media Broadcasting. Again, my friends, this is 2025 and the period of time, it is the 18th of January. And again, there's lots and lots and lots of things happening in our country, in the regional aspects of our country. And again, my friends, in the international realm of our country, and as a matter of fact, the whole entire world really and truly is reeling from certain types of calamities and disasters. Wars are going on still in Ukraine and all parts of the world. There are some sort of hardship really and truly penetrating the lives of the hard-working citizens of those very said country that has really and truly done what they're supposed to be doing, effort and sacrifice that they have made. My friends, again, welcome to our program. And again, you all have that freedom of speech, if you want to call it that, to call our station 372-2129. And maybe you can join conversation with us, or you can text, or again, my friends, don't feel shame. Put some sort of message on our number here so that we can read it out loud, so that Trinidad and Tobago can really and truly understand the sacrifice and the hardship that you, the citizens of our country, are making. So again, Prem, we are here.
Yeah, thank you very much, Reverend Imam Rashid Karim, my good friend. So my friends, welcome to the program Hardfacts, viewed on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Pronto, we are in studio live from 12:15 p.m., bringing you current issues that is really affecting the citizens of this country. Whatever class you belong to, my friends, everyone is being affected. My friends, Imam just spoke about our Caribbean neighbors and the world at large. Right here in the Caribbean, for those of you who are paying attention to what is happening in the territorial waters around the Caribbean, there seems to be some sort of aggression building up, Imam.
Yeah.
Right, with our neighboring brothers in Venezuela, in Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, in Guyana also, and Brazil and whatnot. So we are paying close attention to that. A lot of things is happening, and that sometimes we tend to allow it to pass. But remember, anytime a war happens to break open in the Caribbean, we would be affected. How? Very simple. Ships would not be able to pass, Imam, bringing goods, taking away goods from our country, bringing in spare parts and food stuff and medicine and that sort of thing. For any ship that is seen within the waters, the opposing, the enemy forces will or may definitely attack it. So my friends, that is what is happening in the outskirts of the umbrella of Trinidad and Tobago. But here in our country, Trinidad and Tobago, we're coming back to relevant issues here now. My friends, in 2024, 559 persons were reported missing by the TTPS in 2024. 410 persons were recovered or returned home or found by the police or by the Hunters Association. And up to this day, 149 individuals are yet to be found. Now that is a, if one person is missing and not found, it is a grave concern, Imam.
Exactly.
149 persons, some of them are, you know, they are children, they are teenagers, they are young people, so to speak, and some of them are elders also. So we are calling on the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the department that is you know, responsible for finding missing persons, to, you know, to continue your good work. You have recovered 410, and we trust and we hope and we know that the other 149 would be accounted for. Okay? Now, my friends, a lot is also happening in the police service. We saw where police officers are stooping to, you know, to a lower level, where one officer stole from his niece a gold chain. Now, come on, officer. Much more is expected of you. You have taken an oath to maintain law and order and to serve the citizens of this country, right? Whatever be the case, you have a monthly salary coming in. Everyone needs to know how to budget yourself, all right? You cannot hang your hat where you cannot reach. You should not do that. And, you know, that is very unbecoming of you and many other officers who were brought before the courts for similar, you know, misbehavior in public office, so to speak. Now, my friends, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, has asked this nation to wish him well as he bids farewell to the political scenario in this country. Now, here we have you know, Rowley asked not to be forgotten as he bids farewell to journalists. Like to journalists, eh?
Yeah.
So, my friends, come back to us, Director. Mr. Prime Minister, we definitely bid farewell to you, and we definitely would remember you. But, Director, I gave you a clip there where, you know, I think the caption is PM not to be forgotten. If you can bring up that. Okay, there's another one. So, my friends, it is the last clip I sent you. The last clip I sent you. Okay. So, as we move on, my friends, we will come back to that clip in a little while. But our Prime Minister, yes, my friends, I don't think anybody will forget you. For 9 years, I'm just touching the surface, Imam will dive deep into that just now. For 9 years, our senior citizens, those who voted for the PNM and those who did not vote for the PNM and those who voted otherwise, for 9 years, they did not receive 1 cent raise of pension money. We would not forget you for that. You took a pay rise of 47%. And you said, whether it is fair or not, or worse to that effect by the SRC, you are accepting it. What a caring individual you are. I hope that when you demit and you go and you lie down on your couch and you reflect and you do some introspection, the thought of these pensioners in our country who have worked and served diligently, honestly, and paid all their taxes, and you know, they live within the law of the land. They were never a burden to society. Whatever they work for, they make it do, and they, you know, they build their house, and they educated their children, and that sort of thing. And in the twilight years of their life, nothing from you. And you know what is even more shameful? That property tax is looming over their head because of you. Let me hand over.
Okay, so again, my friends, those of you who are locked on, those of you who have been hearing my phone pinging, that was messages that was coming in live from residents of different areas of Trinidad and Tobago, not only Central. This program really and truly has become sort of a mouthpiece for those persons who have been really and truly aggrieved and not getting any redress from the relevant agencies in our country, Trinidad and Tobago. And those of you who are looking on, you know, you are reading the flicker tape there, and the tape is saying that IDC residents, that's IDC residents in Charlieville, they are claiming that they have, you know, put out the excess stuff. That would have been the branches of trees and, you know, some rubbles that they have in their homes, and they have placed that outside there. The branches were, the tree branches were green, as you would normally understand it to be, and if you go across there now, you are seeing all the leaves falling off the branches, and it is bare branch. So basically it is overdue. It is over 6 weeks now, and they are playing with the Shawanas Borough Corporation to see if they can assist, at least do their job, right? And another resident called me, and next week if it doesn't remove, if it isn't removed by that time, I'm going to show you the photos, because my friends, it is coming directly from Crime Spotters. They are going out. That's a crime, Prem.
It is.
That's a crime.
Yeah, but Imam, there's something that is written in the message here that you didn't pick it up, right? That they are being demanded money.
Yeah, I was commenting that there now, because the point here is that some of the residents are claiming that the garbage truck, that is the excess truck, is not picking up the garbage simply because they are demanding monies. And you know something, I have been lamenting on this program for many moons now, that you see those trucks, right, that has to carry heavy goods and excess rubbles and so forth. Really and truly, it is a very high tray. And I want you all to see that. I'm going to drive behind one of those trucks, and I want to show you how those guys who are working for minimum salary has to really and truly stress themselves to the fullest to get these rubbish,
use
these garbage.
excessive physical energy or force.
Simply because Trinidad and Tobago, those trucks
Christ,
are not the trucks that were supposed to be carrying those types of rubbish and those types of garbage, right? So again, my friends, those of you who are locked on, residents are saying this, that this is an allegation, right? An allegation is being made that some of these truck drivers and workers, they are demanding that if the residents pay, they are going to remove it. Now that should not be.
And that is not stated in the contract.
That it should not have been really and truly demanding of. Now I'll tell you something. I Imam Rashid Karam here, I do have a problem if the garbage truck come out, and they pick up your garbage and you offer them a soft drink, or you offer them, maybe whether it be money doesn't matter to me. But what I'm saying, whether you offer them some water or you offer them a cold beverage or anything like that, I do have a problem. But again, when these guys in the opposite end now, they are making demands to very poor residents, and the residents are really and truly reeling from hardship already, because this government is not a caring government. This PNM government is not caring to the multitude of men and women in our society. They might be caring for a handful of people, and they may be supportive of a handful of people, but when it comes to the multitude of men and women, this government, my friends, is not really and truly assisting. And that's the reason why we are calling on this program that whoever wants to lead this country or lead the charge towards saving Trinidad, you know the word I'm using, the adjective descriptive I'm using is saving Trinidad and Tobago from the brinks of abysses, right? From the brinks of no return. They had to really and truly have the passion in their hearts, not to really and truly save face, but they have to have the passion in their hearts, my friends. So those of you who are locked on, is very important. Now, Prem brought up in the initial part of our program here today, Prem brought up pertaining to the police officers, and one officer stole jewelry from his cousin or something like that. But the worst thing to see, my friends, is what transpired during the course of last week, when three police officers were having a brawl in uniform at the McBean stretch in Couva. That is a sad state.
eyesore.
It is an eyesore. It is really and truly something that is so negligent in the part of these officers. You all want to fight, no problem. Go in the savannah, take off your uniform, go in the savannah and fight. We don't have a problem. But you are fighting on a high traffic area. That is the McBean stretch in Couva, and you all have uniform and you all are fighting. What examples are you setting for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? What example you are setting for the students of Trinidad and Tobago who are going to school? As we turn to our flick there, as we go to our video, where we are seeing in Moruga, students are fighting and they are beating their teachers. Look at what is happening. If the police, and you know what the student will be saying, Prem? They must be saying this in their mind, well, if the police could do it, then we could do it too. Because there is no law and there is no order. Those people should be suspended immediately. Those people you know something? I tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, right? You all have to understand, we are in a critical crisis time. Trinidad and Tobago at this point here. We have no leadership. We are running on autopilot. We are running on fumes. We are, my friends, at this point in time, the government doesn't understand the plights of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Go ahead, Prem.
But Imam, you know something? Is either you and I are fortune tellers, or we have a divine intuition of what is happening and what is about to happen. Only in our last edition, all right, we spoke about bullying in school and called upon the Minister of Education, Dr. Nayan Glasby-Dolly, to set up a little academy. You remember, Imam?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Where students who have been bullied, you know, you're calling the students with the parents and family members, and that student receive counseling. The bullier, if there's such a word or a phrase or an analogy, the one who is perpetrating the bullying, he or she also must be called in with their parents and given, you know, some sort of counseling. But here, with the last video, are you going to call in the teacher?
And Prem, are
you going to call in the teacher for counseling?
The next thing that is going to happen, Prem, the next thing is going to happen here, and we're going to call it out in this program. We are calling on the Ministry of Education to set up their own criminal courts to deal with these miscreants in school. You understand? This is what is happening.
Imam, let me tell you something. For that teacher, my heart goes out to him. You know why? I don't think in my wildest dreams that the teacher was the perpetrator. A teacher is a person, you know, who has a lot of integrity and credibility and is trained how to handle. Imagine you handling students like that every day of your life.
Yeah.
8 hours a day or 6 hours a day. All right? The teacher must have, you know, tried to pacify a situation or whatnot. And these bullies, these wannabe criminals, you know something? The government of Trinidad and Tobago should extend the royal jail and that one in Aruca there. Because you've seen the pattern coming up. Now, the point I want to make here is that student, if you look at the live video, right, was using obscenities in the worst manner towards the teacher. In our days, we were taught to respect teachers and elders in society and policemen and doctors. You recall the days when our parents would see a policeman, your dad will take off his hat and place it here and refer to him as sir. You go to a government office, you know, they would stand there with utmost respect before those in authority. That teacher is in authority. We are calling on the principal of that school, the PTA, right, to submit what we'd call a comprehensive report, and let us see what action is the Minister of Education going to take. The teacher needs counseling. Imagine when the teacher's wife or children, his own biological children, his father, mother, uncle, and cousins and members of his village sees that video. You know what embarrassment that is for a teacher, boy?
Exactly, and the point we are making on our program here, right, and we want the Ministry of Education via the minister and those persons who are roving officers for the Ministry of Education to understand what really and truly happening in our country. Now, I'll tell you something, the government would say this. The government, you know this and I know this. Many people don't know this. All those denominational boards, all they could place into their schools is just approximately 20% of students. And the other 80% of students is being disseminated via the Ministry of Education and those persons who have passed by the governmental agencies who have been instructed to do so. Now, my point here is, when you look at some of these areas that some of these children are coming in from and where they are going to, you're going to realize that when people would hear, like, let me just look at Central, right? When you would hear people coming from high crime zone in the different areas, children start becoming scared immediately. You know where I'm from, though? I am from so.
That's a psychological form of bullying also.
And I am from this area, you know, so don't come around me, you know, because, you know, we will deal with you. And that's basically the input of the government of the day. The denominational board, you know, if they had the prerogative and the rights to do what they were supposed to be doing according to their scriptures, because the Roman Catholic, the Anglican, the Catholic board and whoever, and the SDMS and the Asher school, they are governed by the spiritual legislation of their different revealed books. And those revealed books would really and truly mentor and guide children to practice their religious persuasions and to develop morality and spirituality in their lives. But when the government of the day
when you have a non-Muslim in a Muslim school or a non-Hindu in a Hindu school, what morality are they going to develop? They're going to spurn the teaching, you know, the ethics and principles of that school.
And that is all being done, you know what, for a price. Because I tell you something, these denominational boards will say here what? I tell you this, you know, there are certain schools in the early times, then, if you want to call it that, right? You would have realized for you to go into that school, you would have to be you have to be recommended by maybe a person of high religious integrity.
Correct.
Otherwise, you're
correct,
not getting to go in that school. But
you
now,
think you're gonna get to go to QRC or Presentation College by guess?
no. And even so much so, Presentation College and all these things, all these schools, especially when you look at high-end religious schools in our country, my friends, you would have to realize this, that you would have to be recommended by a priest, a pastor, imam, or whatever, so that you could be induced or introduced to that school. Now, that is not happening. The government is just trusting, and they are placing any and anybody because they want to make sure that everybody, you know what they're using? They're using this psychological mentality. Hear what? We want all our children. Now, tell us something, not everybody could become a doctor. Not everybody could become a lawyer. Not everybody could become educated. There are children who we need, right? Who we need to really and truly develop in different fields, right? And the government of the day should analyze that in the first year. In the first year, right? You send a child in Form 1, he should be assessed. And hear what? By second year, he should be, developed in such a way that I want to choose my career path.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
I want to choose my career path. Well, look, today I tell you something. There are people who have 10 distinctions. They have lots and lots of passes, and they cannot get work in this country. So much so that people come to me, and they come, and when I look at the credential, I discriminate against them. Imam Rashid Karim, sometimes I tell them, I say, look, you have all these passes. They look at A's and all these subjects, and you are qualified to do this. How you come in to do the total lumber and cement, boss? That is unfair. That is unfair for you. Your mom, your dad, they sacrifice, huh? And you went to school and you wake nights and days, right? And you studied, and today you come in a hardware to work. You come in my pluck shop to work. No, I discriminate. I tell them, no, you have to find something better. Sometimes I even give them some money and I say, hey, what, you find another, and I would make recommendation to different people. Supermarket work and all these things, not good for people who have 8 or 9 subjects unless they are doing the book work and they are doing the economy of the business.
As I usually say, there is no room for the graduates, no employment for the graduates and undergraduates in this country. Now, Imam, I'll tell you something, I know of 2 people. One, this boy is 28 years old. He holds a degree in petroleum engineering. Cannot get a job. Thanks to Rowley. You want me to remember you, right? And then I have 2 or 3 friends.
I will always remember Rowley.
I do.
I will remember Rowley all the time. Because if you're closing the fridge and you're in here, we're not closing down Petrochen. Right? I just want you to know that that is something that has stigmatized in my mind.
I am not in your bedroom.
Yeah.
Your conduct is like hyenas in the African jungle. We'll get onto that later. And there are 2 people who I know who are have been asking over the past months for me to assist them in getting a job, and they hold degree in animal husbandry.
Prem, you notice I was laughing and smiling.
Of course I do. I know this.
Let me tell you what.
But let me tell you this before you start.
Yeah.
I am a product of Presentation College, Shogunas.
Exactly so.
Exactly. And
so.
my MP Dinesh Rambali, he's also a product of MP Shogunas.
Very well.
Presentation, sorry.
Very well. And the man who's sitting next to you is John Lee.
Oh, yeah.
So those of you who are locked on, my friends, you know something, I was smiling and laughing a while ago. Because I tell you something, the very said individual who came to my establishment for work, and I say, well, you know, this work is not a really good work for you and so forth. You know something, he come out there and he thank me. So I say, where you thanking me for? I want Trinidad and Tobago to hear this. You know what? He was supermarket, and the supermarket was paying $150 a day. $150 a day to bag and trolley goods to the cars. And you know what he told me? He said, Imam, you know, every day I get $300 tip.
Tip? Yeah.
So he telling me every day he getting a $300. So when you look at it, he getting $450. Not every day would be a smooth day like that.
But around that figure.
But he's saying that.
But then again, Imam, that is not what he was educated and qualified for.
I'm going to drop you. I'm going to drop the bombshell now. You know what he tell me? He say, boy, the only thing, the only thing, you know, COVID, everybody wear masks.
Yeah.
I wear masks.
Yeah, nobody see.
Because I tell you something, I just see my schoolmates and them coming in with their parents.
Big cars and things, yes.
You know, I just had to push goods for them, right? And I just feel real shame, boy.
It is.
But I tell them, I say, don't feel shame. You're going to come out of that syndrome, and you're going to become somebody better. So Trinidad and Tobago, we are here. This program, Hardfacts, is your program, where we dive into the ocean of the abnormalities of Trinidad and Tobago. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we want you to call us. 372-2129. Call us.
So welcome back, friends. Welcome back to our program, Hardfacts on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting. With me in studio is our Reverend Imam Rashid Karim. Our Imam here, my friends, is the Imam of the Felicity Masjid at Greenwich Road. He's also the president of the FIDAIL, the Islamic Funeral Trust Agency. He's also an astute businessman, dealing more so in the hardware products from foundation to finish, power tools, hand tools, plumbing material from water tanks, the pumps, the all fittings, electrical also. So you can visit Island Express Hardware at Kakan Road, Felicity. Ask to speak to the Imam and you'll get your discount and service and transportation. Everything is available here at Island Express Hardware. Now, my friends, the general consensus financially in our country is that Trinidad and Tobago don't have money, Imam. Right? Had Trinidad and Tobago had money, the negotiations with the different trade unions would have been settled. People would not be forced to settle for 4%. But coming up somewhere in February or March is what one would call a national festival in Trinidad and Tobago. It is more so of a fete. And directly you have that carnival cost, and it is estimated to cost this country, the treasury, the taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago, $140 million. Carnival 2025 to cost taxpayers over $140 million. And there you see Calypsonian Gypsy, who is the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Carnival Committee. Come back to us. Now, each year, Carnival Festival is hosted in Trinidad and Tobago. we in Sentinel Media are yet to find out or yet to receive information of any profits that are being made after this carnival and after every other carnival, that went. Just imagine something like $6 million for toilet facilities, portable toilets. You understand? Carnival at this time, bearing in mind, there is a virus called HMPV, where St. Augustine Medical Lab, they reported that one person was tested positive for this virus, which is a life-threatening virus. Bearing in mind also that Trinidad and Tobago is under a state of emergency. And we are seeing here $140 million plus would be allocated for the carnival come 2025. Now, where is the logic in that? Where is the profit margin? Where is the balance sheet?
So, Prem, you don't understand one or two things that we...
What you're going to say, I already know, but it is for the, for the benefit of our viewers.
Trinidad and Tobago, right? We have two political entities. One political entity is on the south of the Caroni Bridge, and the other is north of the Caroni Bridge. So basically, the Caroni River, it separates the boundaries of the voting pattern in Trinidad and Tobago.
Geopolitics.
The geopolitics of Trinidad and Tobago is that, right? We have 19 or some seats across so, and we have about 19 across here. And basically, the party or the people who are really and truly at this point in time running the country, running the affairs of Trinidad and Tobago, you're going to realize that this period of time is a peak period in lifting and satisfying and gratifying the pangs and the taste of these voters and the voting bank of that very said political party. Now, however you want, I try to be as diplomatic as possible. However you want to take it, my friends, and I cannot give PNM wrong. PNM have to take care of their people, and they have to do it.
Because it is their people who puts them in power.
And these are the very said people who is going to put them in power in 2025. So you telling me that they are going to do anything contrary to pleasing their voters? All these things that is happening in our country, this SOE, this state of emergency, is not going to last long. Because it may be about 2 weeks' time for the most. So
it will be lifted.
Yeah, it's going to be lifted to what? To facilitate those activities that would be taking place in the different strategic tents, and they will cover it and cloak it with, you know what? This is tourism in Trinidad and Tobago.
Boost tourism and foreign exchange.
Something? We are going to spend $140 million from where? From, you know what? From the draconian property tax. That is going to be taken from the poor, the needy, the wayfarers, the widows, the orphans of our country. Because parents are cutting. Parents are cutting, you know, the benefits that is supposed to be given to their kids. Right? That has to be cut so that they can be able to keep them in shelter, in a home. Because other than that, people are going to gravitate to staying in pavilion like what we saw in the past. And people are going to go more to the pavements, and people are going to become nuisance to society. And you know what? Then they're going to say, well, here what? Let me change that political situation where we remove the poor, the middle class people, and we make two class, the rich and the poor, and we remove the middle class. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, you all have to understand this. You have the power in your hands. The people of our country, we are saying enough is enough.
And you know something, Imam? Sooner or later, you're going to hear the Minister of Health come on national television and say the HMPV virus is not in Trinidad, just to facilitate that carnival. He is going to say that.
Afterwards, now I tell you something, it's a Cosa Nostra, right? You're going to realize this, that they are guided by some beacon of not hope or not light, but some beacon of darkness somewhere down the line, to tell a lie now, and then after escalate the truth now, to say, well, here what? We are in a state of code red, and you know, this amount of billions is going to be spent. And you know something, Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to take that hook, line, and sinker, just like COVID. Anybody in Trinidad and Tobago, the lay citizens, the commoners, the people on the street, the man on the street, did you know how many dollars the country Trinidad and Tobago people dying in our country? Do you all know that? Do you all know that the WHO, right? That is the World Health Organization, were giving assistance to countries,
yes,
with high mortality
rate, yes,
high death rate. Do you all know that? So when you feel and you cry and you beg and you plead for people to help you to do a $7,000 funeral, and you go to the governmental agencies to collect a check, they run you like a dog, chase you like a dog, get you out of here like they give you something.
But you know something, Imam? Up to this day, no one knows how much money Trinidad and Tobago received from the World Health Organization.
No, but that is a secret.
Right? And up to this day, the opposition, you know, has not ventured deep, vigorously into finding out that.
I think the opposition has to really and truly come out of their cocoon, their shell, and start doing the people's business in this country. And stop trying to protect their own selves and their own whims and own businesses. They have to come. Let me tell you something. I could bust a mark here today on this program. Eh? I could bust a real mark on this program here. But I really and truly don't want to go down that road today. Because, you know, people are asking the question. People are asking the question. They're asking the question, but you know what? You know what they're saying? Then what we go do? Huh? What we going to do?
Well, they already lost the battle?
Yeah.
Yeah?
You know, they surrender. They surrender before they even start a fight. What we go do, Imam? What we go do? Is the same old, PNM going to win, this, that. And you know, they give up. People like they give up in this country. And I am saying that mentality, we need a vital leader. We need somebody to stand up vociferously, to stand up and aggravate, and stand up and agitate the movement of our country at this point in time.
You're right, and mobilize the population.
And mobilize. I've been hearing the same old. Like, you know, it is regurgitated all the time by different councillors. They're going out there, they're blowing their own horns. Let the people do that. Let the people tell you that you're good. Let the people tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, you as the leader, let them, Dr. Keith Rowley asking not to be forgotten. He's never going to be forgotten. The atrocities that he perpetrated upon the hard-working citizens of this country. Dr. Keith Rowley, nobody's going to forget you.
Come on, yes. Can you blow up that, Director? Trinidad and Tobago, let me take it from my phone here. Promises, failed promises from 2015 by the PNM government, led by Dr. Keith Rowley. One, to establish a code for all MPs. That has failed. The PNM will tackle youth criminality head-on through the implementation of preventative action. Failed. Establish a joint border protection agency that will manage the security and integrity of Trinidad and Tobago borders. Failed. We have a porous border. All the patrol boats pack up in Chagaramas. To develop a disaster risk management. Here the big words, eh? To develop a disaster risk management policy for Trinidad and Tobago. Disaster risk. That is still a disaster. To develop and implement flood management plans, including mitigation, response, and adaptation measures. Trinidad still flooding. Construct a new first-class road to Moruga and a modern fishing port in Moruga. You will never see that Moruga. Complete the San Fernando to Point Fortin highway that the UNC started. That and a blue donkey you wouldn't see. Initiate the process for a free island-wide public broadcast wireless network, which is free Wi-Fi. That also you will never see. Come back to us. And not forgetting, you know, I always, you know, my heart goes out to our pensioners. My mother is a pensioner also. And $3,500, your buying power has been reduced by 60%. So only 40% value you have of $3,500.
Pretty much, just received, while you was debating there, right? I just received a text from an individual here and saying, Imam, I want you to talk on the FUL. Talk on FUL. Simply because there's approximately, Commissioner of Police, very, very important. Now, when those persons put into FUL, Director, pull up that shot there. FUL, the Firearms Users License. A lot of people, approximately 28,000 people made applications for firearm pending for the period of maybe 15, 18 years, right? And it has reached that breaking point now that business people in the community have started suing the government of the day, especially the commissioner's office, right? And as you can see the headline there, 3 business people win lawsuit over FUL application. What does that mean? Can somebody explain that to us? Does it mean that because no, there was money spent there?
Of course.
There was money spent
Yes.
there. Now, is that going to be the trend? And we are asking the relevant agencies, whether it be the Commissioner of Police, whether it be the National Security Minister, whether it be the acting Prime Minister, whoever it may be, wherever the buck lies, we are asking the question, is that now the new trend? Where people who have made applications and they have not received,
Any correspondence, yes,
will
from
they
the Commissioner
will they be
office.
taking specific lawyers? And when they win that case, just as what transpired with those 3 business people, who is going to pay the cost? Who is going to pay
obviously the Treasury?
Right.
Obviously.
And you see, Trinidad and Tobago, there's a lot of mispractices that is taking place under the watchful eyes of the opposition.
Let me add something there, Ivan.
Yeah, and nobody's saying anything.
If these businessmen or other people who are going to follow suit, they're going to follow suit.
Other people
right?
are going to open. That's a doorway open.
If they win their case against the Commissioner of Police for FUL, it means that the Commissioner of Police has erred.
Yes.
Right now, so
Exactly.
that is why the court award a winning ticket to the applicants. And you are going to see more and more of that. Madam Commissioner of Police, you are sitting there, you are waiting the court to instruct you by a court order to issue FUL license to these 3 people.
And that is what is happening.
When that is your duty as a Commissioner of Police.
That is happening in all facets when it comes to public service. Because that office is a public service office. The Commissioner of Police, the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, Ministry of, you name it, right? Works and infrastructure. And I'll tell you something. Some of the worst functioning ministries at this point in time is the Water and Sewage Authority and the Electricity Commissioner of Trinidad and Tobago. Because I tell you something, nowhere definitely where people can say, well, here what, there's 5 things that you have to provide before you are given a connection legitimately, right? You know something, there are people who are squatting on the roadside. They don't have nothing and they are getting connection.
Without any hassle.
And there are people who have land certified deed. Like one guy came to me this week. Listen carefully. And Trinidad and Tobago, this is not a real place, I want you all to listen to this. And this is no allegation. This is facts. This is not speculation. This is the truth. What this guy said, he have a deed. And he went to make application to get current, to get the electricity in his place. And because, there's some fine-tuning to be done on that deed, because the deed has his name. He's one of the recipients of a piece of land there. The persons who are in charge, they advise him, here what, don't do that. Scrap that. Go through the commission. Go through the self-help commission. State, tell them that is state land. And you will get it faster. Imagine that. You have private land,
where your name is in the deed.
Where your name is in the deed, but because of the lengthy process, the people who have state land, who are squatting on state land, they would get a connection faster than a person who have a legitimate deed and who cannot, my friends, really and truly deal with the bureaucracy of these people behind the desk when you go. The failure of this government clearly indicates that because of your failure, I saw this on social media, and it is a headline in one of those daily medias where they're stating that there's surplus. And I want Trinidad and Tobago to listen carefully. There are surplus people making application to become maybe police officers in our country. You have that, Director? Pull that up. And I want Trinidad and Tobago to see, the job is a fascinating job. To become a police officer in Trinidad and Tobago is a very lucrative business, because here it is, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago has stated last week, he stated that police are locking up the station, out in the lights, and they are scared out of their wits. Now, if that is the case, then why it is that these people are making application to become police officers in our country and they are being turned away simply because it is overwhelming? Something has to be productive for the police to be there, to be making such a big amount of application, a great number of applications.
Wanting to become
as a police officer.
Yeah.
So Trinidad and Tobago, read between the lines. Something not adding up. Something not adding up. You and I today, you have to understand this. We need protection. We need protection. That's the reason why we are paying for protection. Let me tell you something. These police officers who go in there, we paying them. They are working for the people. Our taxes paying them. Not Dr. Keith Rowley, not Stuart Young, not Kamala Prasad Bissessa, Not nobody. Who is paying them? Who is paying the police officers? Our taxes. When you go to the shop, when you buy a KFC, right? When you go to the license office, when you purchase a vehicle, when you go for your passport.
And when you get a ticket.
When you get a ticket, it's worse. When you have firearms, you have to pay monies for your license. So when you look at it, you bring in something, you export something, you have to pay taxes. And you know something, my friends? These people calling the shots as though the money is coming out of their pockets. Trinidad and Tobago, you need proper representation. That is what we are calling for on our program, Hard Facts.
Imam, you know something? We have a commissioner of police. We have a commissioner of lands and surveys. We have a commissioner of transport. All right? Let us take the transport. You apply for your learner's permit, and then you pass your driving test and your classroom test or whatever, and now you are qualified to get your driver's permit. What grounds can the Commissioner of Transport deny you that? Likewise, investigations were done by people who applied for firearm, 28,000. Some of them have qualified, some of them have, did not qualify. However, their file and application is on the Commissioner's desk. For those who have qualified, what is there preventing the Commissioner of Police in granting these people their licenses? Is it because of political interferences? Who is monitoring the coming in of guns and ammunition and drugs into this country? When all our patrol boats are packed up. No, my friends. Information coming to Sentinel Media Broadcasting. Sometime this week, Highway Patrol Police, on their beat along the highway there, the Special Rural Highway, and intercepted a vehicle, because of the heavy tint and that sort of thing. Imam, you have that story, right?
Yeah.
And $1.7 million worth of cannabis was discovered.
Right, and the point here is that's a big fine, right? Nothing wrong. That could justify when it comes to, that is normal policing. That cannot justify SOE. Right, that's a normal thing. Police supposed to be vigilant at all times. Now, again, Trinidad and Tobago, that 1 point something million dollars in cocaine, when, that could be melted down in the true sense of the word, because I tell you something, because of the heat and the humid temperature
and rat
and all these things. So maybe when that case go to court,
and the evidence is brought before the court,
maybe that could be diminished and that case could be thrown away. But I'll tell you something, as Prem was speaking there, I came across two things in my mind while I was talking. Not because, you feel that, we are strained. No, we are not strained. I want to bring up two things here. And that is very, very important before we go on a break. And the important thing is that I want those people who are listening to our program and maybe you are going through this very sad thing, call the number 372-2129. We are going to take you live on air and have a private discussion, or we're going to have a public discussion as what you desire. Number one, there are people who are selling vehicles. They are selling motor vehicles to people, right? And they are saying, well, here what, you will get the vehicle transfer for you in a week time. In a week time. Yesterday, a guy called me and begging and pleading. He said, Imam, I am distraughted. I said, what happened, my brother? He said, I purchased a vehicle, right? And there's a Muslim sister he bought the vehicle from. And because you are a imam and all these things, you could be able to help me, at least talk to the sister to come to the license office. Or if she cannot make it because of health reason, there's protocol that she could observe, go by a doctor and this, that, the next, and what have you. But the point I am making here, right? There is no redress when you go to the license office. There are people who are selling the vehicles, right? You are purchasing a vehicle from them. And when you go to the license office, they tell you come tomorrow. They're telling you that tomorrow we're going to transfer. And when the owner of the vehicle, the new owner of the vehicle, go to the license office, they are waiting there. They are waiting there and the person doesn't show up. Because of what? I don't know. These people are that's where the start of criminal activities begin in the minds of these people. You sell a man a vehicle. You sell somebody a vehicle. Go and transfer the vehicle. You don't want to have the cake and eat the cake too. You sell the vehicle, get the vehicle off, and you collect your money, and you have the person dangling, like a clock pendulum, going so. The fella is so frustrated right now. But the point I am making, why it is that the Transport Commission of Trinidad and Tobago does not, once that person name is on the vehicle certified copy, and that person doesn't show up, that warrants the police involvement, and that person should be incarcerated or fined or charged or brought before the court. That is something that they have to do. Because legitimate people buying vehicles.
So that brother is in limbo.
In limbo at this point, begging me, say, Imam.
He pay money, don't have his money anymore, and he has a vehicle that cannot be transferred in his name. That is real frustration.
So I want you all to know that you heard it on Hardfacts, Sentinel Media Broadcasting. And the second thing I want to bring up again now is another guy. He went into prison, right? He had the license and stuff. He committed a crime in the early period of his life. He spent approximately 20 years incarceration, and he came out now. Now he came out here. There should be some sort of information protocol where this guy can be able to go through a test or do something and be guided. Now the guy, there's nothing like that. They're sending the guy here, sending the guy here, sending the guy, and the guy already served his sentence for his crime, whatever crime that he had committed, and here it is, he's outside now. And he wants to.
But what you are saying, ma'am, there are no avenues available by this government for him to get a job and start his life anew again.
Nothing in place.
No assistance.
Nothing in place. Yeah? Many of these people who coming out of long-term incarceration in prison in Trinidad and Tobago, they are thrown. They are thrown to the wolves.
To the wolves.
They are thrown to the wolves, and they come outside there, and the people who absorb them is the criminal elements of our society. They give them lodging, they give them some money,
they give them food,
play, and they give them, and you know what? After, you know, they put maybe, I just speculating here, maybe they'll ask them to commit a crime for them. And these people would become very grateful. Nobody helped me. Nobody helped me. I saw a movie like that. But that movie I saw, I seen that every day in Trinidad and Tobago, because when these men come outside there, they give them $200. And you know something? The government of the day know that this person spent 20 years. There's supposed to be a small stipend awaiting him as he's about to exit. He should be presented with 5,000, 2,000, 1,500. You know what the guy told me? Trinidad and Tobago. Now he committed a crime. He accept that. And that was a crime that he committed in infancy in his life, 22, 23 years old. And you know something, Trinidad and Tobago? When he exit the prison, he didn't collect a black cent. They tell him to go in social welfare. It's a good thing that it have one or two kind-hearted prison officers that one of those guys give him $100, and that is the money he used to travel. To go to somebody. And when he go down there, remember, they're supposed to have, that's what I'm telling you, Trinidad and Tobago, there's no thinkers.
Yeah, but Imam,
no thinkers.
That is an issue for, you know, that the justice system in this country needs to address immediately pronto. Because as you say, he will be thrown to the wolves now.
Yes.
When hunger strikes, and you have to sleep under the elements, no food, no clothing, and nobody wants to stay close to you because you're a convict. And nobody would employ you because you cannot get a certificate of character.
Here the icing on the cake, Trinidad and Tobago. Icing on the cake. I want you all to listen before we take the break. The icing on the cake is this guy, he did a lot of studies. He did IT, computer studies. He's a computer technician graduate, right? He qualified, I think he got a couple of subjects, maybe 6 or 8 subjects while incarcerated for 20 years. Lo and behold, when he went back to the prison authorities now to receive those certificates, that is not there to be handed over to him. When he went to the Ministry of Education, that is another thing, because which ministry?
But if a merit list could disappear from the Integrity Commission going to the president, you understand?
I just saying, so the individual who have been telling me about his situation right now, he's been counseled by the IFST, and I just letting you all know, Trinidad and Tobago, sometimes, you know, you are happy, you are enjoying life, and there are people, I just closing off before we take the break, Prem. One thing, I just want to draw an example of what scenario is taking place in places like Palestine and all those war zone, Ukraine and all those places. One woman, Trinidad and Tobago, listen, you know the cork of a Coca-Cola bottle? That is the amount of water she's using. That is the ration of water she's using. And she have a son there. And you know what? She poured 1 cork of water in from that, 1 cork. And you know what? She take her tongue and lick the water. Right? That's 1 lick for she. And then she give the son another lick. And that is the hardship people have faced outside there. And you in Trinidad and Tobago, I in Trinidad and Tobago, sometimes, my friends, we really and truly have become heartless. Because this guy, our own, a citizen of our country, he's been thrown back to the wolves. And how come, you know, what sort of rejuvenation, right? What sort of, you know, programs there is when it comes for those persons who have been incarcerated for on a long-term basis like that guy. 20, 25 years. Let's take a break, and when we come back, my friends, we're going to continue. The number is 372-2129. We have a sister have called us. She sent some photos of a problem that she is faced with at Siparia, and I think that is close to the opposition leaders constituency office. So when we come back, we're going to highlight that, and we want you all, those of you who have any problem that you would like us to highlight on this program, you don't have to pay no money. I want you all to know that. You don't have to pay 1 black cent to any one of us here in studio. Whatever we are doing, it is out of the courtesy of our hearts and because of the faith that we have in Almighty God. Let's take a break.
Stop me. I am the news and I'll make you keep talking. How many years you want to block me? I'm like the air, you know if you catch me. This fucking beats me, I play make I take fuck off some sellouts. Them be hungry.
So my friends, welcome back. Welcome back to our program, Hardfacts on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting. You know, Trinidad and Tobago, some years ago, a movie was released by Hollywood, American film company, called Class of 84. You recall that, Imam?
Yeah.
In Class of 84, just in a nutshell, the gist of it really, in that school, that particular school, the students were very, very delinquent. You know, they never pay attention to classwork and that sort of, but they were never disrespectful to the teachers. They kept failing exam, you know, and the parents was concerned and that sort of thing. And one day, the teacher used a reverse psychology method in that he began threatening the safety of the students in the classroom. And you know something? Everybody passed that exam. But here today in our country, the reverse is happening.
Yeah.
The students are threatening, and not only verbally threatening, they are physically manhandling, you know, and, you know, I don't want to use the word beating, but, you know, really, really disgusting behavior by some of these students. So, my friends, hard facts is really, really hard facts, right? I know the Imam has some pertinent information to discuss, so I'll hand over to him.
Yeah.
This is the last segment of our program.
What you were saying there, right? What you were saying there is that is exactly what transpired in that class, but this is the opposite.
It's the opposite here.
Right? No,
but this class of 2024.
No, I'll tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, for those of you who don't know, or who pretending not to know, that very said thing is happening in many, many schools in our country. Many, many schools. I know of an incident where a garbage bin was shown on a principal.
But Imam,
I know, another thing again,
yes,
another thing occurred where teachers were threatened, female teachers were threatened that they are going to be gang raped. These are the things that is happening. You tell me, if you as a parent, you have a daughter who is 25 or 26 years old, that's a young child, and that child is going to a school to teach, to educate others who are 14 and 15, and the type of excessive force and abuse that they are, you know, identifying with in classroom, and so many things, my friends, would you allow or permit your child to go and teach in those types of schools? And the question begs to be asked again, why it is that the government of the day can, and you know something, a lot of people today, there are about 4 or 5 private schools in Shogunas. You know what? People are fed up with the education ministry.
Oh, no comment to that.
Yeah, they are fed up so much so that they are taking their children out of schools. Just not because of the teachers, you know. They are taking their children out of school because of the violence and the bullying that is taking place in those government schools, that they are taking them to private schools so that they can pay for their education.
In a safe environment.
Not for that alone, but you know what? They want their children to be safe. They want their children to be alive. That is what parents are concerned with.
You know something, Imam? As you said that student or students who were engaged in that heinous act, so to speak, against that teacher, I wonder how that student is feeling this morning and how his parents are feeling. Are they proud of their son's behavior?
The parents wouldn't be proud for sure, I'm telling you. But you see, the students, they are going to school.
There's a mindset developed now, you know.
That is a stigma that's going to penetrate the teacher, number one. And then other students going to follow suit and say, he do it and get away. Things like that, you nip it in the bud one time. Now, you don't stay here, 7 days suspension.
And you're coming back right in?
And coming back right in that school, outside.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, for the Minister of Education, Mrs. Dr. Nayan Glasby Dolly, you need to, first of all, did you demand a report from those schools? And many, even a school in Charleville last week, or this week I think it was, a female student committed suicide because of school bullying. You understand? Did you send your officials to investigate? This matter with a student and a teacher is a police matter in England.
Exactly.
That is a police matter. Was the police called in? You know, we hope that if some sort of investigation would be launched and reports that student be brought before the juvenile court or whatever the case is, and the Minister of Education stands up now with your pretty nice wig. You know, I can't get a wig to buy, you know, I want a wig. All the wigs, I don't know why.
You want that toupee.
Toupee with a wig self.
Not that toupee, a toupee.
I know what that means, yeah. And, you know, come facing this population on national television and say what measures are you going to put in place and what sort of punishment, if that is the right word, is going to be administered by these students for that type of behavior. And those are suspension and they had to go back or transfer, they're going with a wicked, nasty ways to the other school.
Right. And you know something, you kind of, I feel you kind of polish it up a little bit.
Pacify it, I know. My heart goes out to the teacher.
And let me tell you something, the teacher, Trinidad and Tobago, that very said teacher, had to seek medical attention.
So but then there's it is a police matter.
It clearly indicates now that matter should be taken to the police, and the police should be dealing with that severely. Because I tell you something, when the judge or whoever is lenient and they give you a small sentence for that, you know what? Other children will follow suit. You have to, sometimes there's casualties, yes, right? But again, Trinidad and Tobago, we need to stand up for what is right.
If that student is so arrogant, is so ignorant, is so stupid and dotish
no respect
to attack your teacher, what would he do to another student?
And what would he be doing at home?
At home and the village.
What would he be doing at home?
There's a bandit in the making. No apologies.
Right. So Trinidad and Tobago, we have a situation here in our hands. Director, you have that photos? Right. Show those photos first and then I will explain. Now I want Trinidad and Tobago to look at what is taking place at a resident, as a resident. This resident lives at Siparia, right? And she have been complaining to the relevant agencies at the Siparia regional office, regional corporation. And what happened, my friends, no redress has been forthcoming. Now, she sorted fit to call us and tell us, Imam, please make a request on behalf. And the request is a simple thing. The request is a simple one. And director, see if you could just pull up that, right, that, stop there. Stop right there, director, pull back, right. You see that there? There is no access drainage. And that is why the irrigation authorities in Trinidad and Tobago need to pull their cadastrals, right, Prim? And you see, they're supposed to be, I tell you this, from my area in where I live in Central.
The drainage division of the borough corporation.
Right, what is happening, right? All those people have encroached on the drains and they have filled the drains. They have filled the drains and no water is going to run off people's properties simply because of the encroachment of water courses in our country. I believe and I think at this point in time, the relevant agency, the government of Trinidad and Tobago, should really and truly investigate properly all those water courses that has been blocked. This young lady is a young lady and her mom, they live there, and she's claiming that even this morning when I told her, say, do a video and send it for me, and if you want to voice it, a brief voice message, she said, Imam, she cannot do it right now because her daughter is sick. You know what we are talking about there? We are talking about dengue in the making. We are talking about dengue in the making, because the symptoms basically is flu, fever, and all those kind of minor symptoms which could be really and truly collaborating and in identifying signs of dengue.
Not forgetting snakes, centipede, cockroaches affecting the lady foundation.
Yes, no, she's telling me now, and she's showing us the wall. You saw the wall. Director, pull back the video of the walls. Now all those walls and it's been water soaked, right? All those walls are being water soaked. Nobody's helping. Nobody's going down there. This we're going to follow up this story. If the reporters could go down there and have a chat with the mom. The mom is an aged person. She's around 60-something years old, and she's not well also. This is inhumane. This is inhumane.
And you know something? The member of parliament, the representative for that area, is the leader of the opposition. Now, I am not anti-UNCA. We are here. This is a liberal program. We balance the scales. Now, Imam, I want, as we are on that topic, I want to say a big thumbs up to my councillor, Adrian Ali, talking about drainage. Haji Adrian Ali is working feverishly, in ensuring that all water courses within his little cadastral area is clean. All potholes are being filled. You drive to Carolina Savannah Road, Ashraf Road, and other neighboring adjacent roads, you will see the type of work Adrian Ali is doing. So my councillor, thumbs up to you, sir.
Right, good. Now, I want you all to understand clearly, this is a very sad program that we have been bashing.
Adrian Ali.
We have been bashing Adrian. And we said it on our program. We said it on our program. We are doing what is right. Whether we encroach a little bit on your privacy or whatever, we are telling it as it is. He did something, we asked him to correct it and so forth, and he gave us an excuse and whatever. Now we have seen the result of our communication from Hardfacts, and my co-host, Mr. Premchand, who is a resident of the areas that he's repairing, he is really and truly thankful, and heartfelt thankful again, coming from the Imam here on our program. Congratulations, Adrian, Haji Adrian Ali. Continue doing your good work. But again, the IDC, Councillor Adrian Ali, if you are watching our program, the IDC area, the part where I'm speaking about the excess garbage, that is close to where Bagan Avenue is. That is IDC Street, straight down to by Mustafa down there. There's a lot of excess garbage, rubbish, rubbles, and that has been there for months. So if you could really and truly drive down there when you're going to work, and maybe you can take a picture of it, and maybe you can discharge the excess truck to go across there. And the other thing that I want to talk about is Pingla Street, Felicity. There's rubbles there, and this is what the resident, I am not saying it. I am not saying it, right? And the program is not saying it. We are just saying what those residents are saying. They're saying that the truckers or the workers from that truck, they are asking that they be paid for removing that, which we are saying that should not be. We are saying also, if it is it's a large quantity, maybe they need a barcode or something like that, they could really and truly identify that and send that report back to the Borough of Shogunas, where the borough now
and have it expedited.
And the borough could expedite that. But that is why the council of the area, Mr. Sundar Juku, we are calling on you, Mr. Sundar Juku, go down to Pingla Street, my friend. I know you are a hard-working person. You have been doing a lot of work in different areas. Now, this is a spit away from you. Pingla Street is a spit away from where you live, Mr. Sundar Joku, Councillor for Felicity Endeavour. Please.
That is where his shadow falls.
Yes, please come across there, because sometimes you play Hanuman in the savannah, so you have a big shadow, You are a strong guy.
Yeah.
So here what, Councillor Sundar Joku, take a drive down to Pingla Street. That is next to Gaza Barber Shop there. There's a lot of rubbles that the trucks could really and truly pick up, but they are not picking it up for a reason unknown to us, right? As we continue, as we close off our program here today on Hardfacts, we are asking on the Commissioner of Police, Madam Commissioner of Police, we have been begging, pleading, asking. The only thing that we didn't do really and truly is drop on our knees, because I'm not going to do it for you or nobody else. I am only going to do that for my Creator. But again, we have been asking you, what do we do? as citizens of our country, when bandits run into our houses and trying to rape, rob, and maim our family members, what do we do? What do we do? Huh? What do we do? We do
But
not. You are not signing off on a firearms users license. You are not doing those things, right? So we are asking you, please tell us what we can do. We saw something happening last week when home invasion took
Three
place.
bandits, yes.
Yeah, a tree canal was used, I think. Director, you have that shot? Where the elderly man was, put it up. Trinidad and Tobago, this is your station. Hardfacts, your program Hardfacts, and your station Sentinel Media Broadcasting. Bandit Prim, take over.
Bandit chop while trying to rob pensioners. 3 bandits, one armed with a firearm, and the other with a knife and a cutlass something. Entered this home 5 a.m. in the morning. Uncle there, grandpa, he came out there, probably going to feed his dog or whatever the case is, and that's the moment they pounced on him. Uncle there, he had his nephew was inside of the home. Seeing the commotion, he took a cutlass and dealt some serious blows to one of the bandits. They fired shots, and you see the plaster on his shoulder. Uncle there, he received some laceration, graze from a gun bullet there. So again, Madam Commissioner of Police, we are asking you, our Imam is pleading, tell us what we can do. You have 28,000 applications on your desk pending approval or denial. You are going to face, you are going to get more lawsuits.
Right. All we are asking, and what we are seeing here, elderly man with 4 wives.
Robbed in home invasion.
A lot of people, come back to us, director.
But the word they use elderly too,
Yeah. You know something? When people would read that, they say,
young man hand on.
Yeah.
And can't get on.
And this man have 4.
Yeah,
But the
4.
point here is, whether it's 4 or 3 or 1 or whatever, that is not the problem. The problem is
home invasion.
Home invasion is escalating.
Under SOE,
Hey,
don't forget that.
Exactly.
Yes.
I am going to tell you that under the state of emergency, we are seeing